This is Nicholas Jones,
Everybody.
one of the young people at St. Francis Episcopal Church, who's his last year.
Yep.
I don't hesitate to say his last year with us, but he's going off to college, so we won't see him as often, but we will see him some.
Yes.
Okay.
For holidays and such.
And this Sunday, Nicholas is going to present his senior sermon at St. Francis.
Yes. This Sunday, April the 3rd.
Whenever that is. So, we're looking forward to that. But Nicholas, I heard that you wanted to make some learn how to make some French toast the way I make it.
Usually have it in the morning, so I need to learn.
And what type of a French toast do you usually have?
I don't know.
Just normal bread?
Yeah, just like normal bread.
Okay.
I mean, it's usually like wheat bread.
Well, there's nothing normal in this house. So,
I can tell.
we're going to use a loaf of challah with raisins that I got at the DeKalb Farmers Market. I did not make this. And the best way for the challah bread is to actually be a little on the stale side. And I like my French toast thick. I like to know that I'm eating some French toast. You know the origin of French toast. We call it French toast. Do you know what they call it in France?
I do not.
They call it pain, bread,
Uh-huh.
perdu, which is lost bread. Because in this technique, bread that had become too stale to eat could actually be used and with milk and cream and brought back to a new life. So we say. And since this is Easter, it's all about a new life. So, and it's good to have the bread a little stale. This might be a little stale. It holds together better. Doesn't like break away. The other ingredients are I like bananas on my French toast. And we also use, I assume this is okay with your parents, we'll check out. But we're going to cook with Di Zerano. We're going to add that for a little flavor. The alcohol cooks out. So for anybody that's worried about that, the alcohol cooks out. It only leaves the flavor. And we're going to use milk and cream to make the batter.
All right.
And it's actually fairly quick. Now I use a lot of butter, and that's what we'll fry the French toast in.
Okay.
So the cream is made with eggs. The batter is made with eggs and cream and milk, the little Di Zerano, some sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And that's the mixture for the batter. And we will put the bread in there, let it soak, and then we'll start cooking it on the stovetop. Okay?
All right.
Well, I've already sliced up the bread for you. I hope that's the thickness that you like.
Yeah, a little thicker than I usually have. But
Okay.
It should be fine.
Well, and again, this bread this is challah bread with raisins. You can get the challah bread without raisins, but I assume raisins are okay for you.
Fine with me. I like raisins.
So let's come on over here,
All
and I'm gonna let you break the eggs.
Okay.
I'm gonna get our vanilla out. Very good. You can just put that right there. Can you do the one-handed egg break technique?
I cannot.
Okay.
I have to say it.
Well, one day I'll show you that. Either we need to whisk up those eggs. Very good. Now let's add.
Sufficiently whisked.
That's sufficiently whisked. Let's add some. Here's a mixing cup. Add about a half a cup of cream. Let's do that.
All right.
And then fill it on up with the regular. This is fat-free skim milk. Whole milk would work great, but since we've got this cream in here, it's going to work
Just
fine.
fill it up to a cup.
Fill it up to a cup.
All right.
And then pour that in, whisk it up. Let's see how much we got. we're gonna make sure we have enough batter. It should be about right. You know, whisk that up good. And then we're gonna add some sugar. I'll make it a little sweet. That's alright. A messy kitchen cooking is a good kitchen. So 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'll add that for you. Continue to whisk. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Keep whisking a little, and then we're going to add a pinch of salt. Like no more than a quarter. About like that. Just a little bit. So, you know what we haven't done? We haven't put our aprons on. And once we start dipping the bread in, we probably, I'll get you an apron.
Okay.
In honor of doing your French toast, I'll give you the Eau Chateau wine tasting group in Paris.
Alright,
Which
nice.
was very fun, I might add, when we went and visited there. And I'll put on my alma mater, Church Divinity School of the Pacific, where I went to seminary in Berkeley, California.
We've been there.
That's right. I took you and the youth group. Good memory. I took you all to my seminary. You have fun?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. Where were we? Okay, so we still need to add the liqueur.
Yes.
Which is, I'm adding an almond-based or a hazelnut-based liqueur, Frangelica. I couldn't find any here, so we do have the Di Zerano. We're going to add maybe, a quarter cup, a little bit less than a quarter cup. And then, remember, all the alcohol is cooked off. We're only adding flavor. Take a big whiff of it and see what you think.
Smells pretty nice.
See. Oh yeah, good. Okay, so let's start soaking some bread. And what I need you to do is cut off a hunk of butter, like probably that much.
Okay.
And throw in the pan. Let's heat the pan up. Get that butter melted, and then we'll put in the French toast after we've soaked a few pieces. Okay? So, we'll let the butter warm up. And while that's going on, let's put in some...
We're going to like flip it over?
Yeah, you will in a minute. I've got some tongs there for you.
Ah, yes.
And let it soak good on one side, and then we'll flip it over. And we can lay it right back out here on this mat.
Alright.
Go ahead and flip it over. So you want to give us a little preview of what you're going to preach on tomorrow? I think the gospel is the Doubting Thomas story.
I'll be talking about the Doubting
And
Thomas.
I'm not asking you to give us your sermon, but
Yeah,
what did you think about that story?
I'm not 100% sure, like, what I'm going to talk about. Like, my main theme is going to be about how...
Nothing like waiting to the night before for your
I
sermon.
I
I
mean,
do it all
I've
the time.
done most of it. I've done most of it.
Okay.
But I'm going to be talking about how my perspective on that story has changed quite a bit, you know, like as I've grown older. And how I originally, you know, couldn't understand Thomas's perspective, but how that's shifted. And I'm going to talk a little bit about community, which is actually a suggestion of yours, after reading my initial draft. So I'm going to probably get that in there. And yeah, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But
Okay.
that's the general.
So
Yeah.
the Gospels, you know, that you hear in church and that you read, how do they work with you? I mean, some of them are quite sort of problematic, hard to understand. But how do you take that in?
Well,
as
usually,
your age
you know,
group.
I look at each individual gospel reading, and I try to interpret that as best I can, and I try to understand what exactly it's trying to say to me, because you know everyone's gonna take it differently. So
Sure, and one of the best ways is to hear it through community, hear it in community. So, and not just try to go up on your own. Yeah. So okay, so you've been going to St. Francis for how many years?
Ever since I was a little kid, really.
Yeah. So, you are certainly part of the community.
I would say so.
And when you leave to go off to college, you will be missed by the community. But I'm not going to go down that path right now. Go ahead and let's put a piece of French toast in the pain perdu in the skillet.
Should I just grab it? Because these tongs aren't like wide enough.
Let's see.
So,
let me try it.
I mean, I guess you could open it further.
Yeah, let's open them up a little bit. Like that. Let that drip off because we're going to need all the batter we can get. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in and let that start frying or cooking. And then we can put another piece in. Let that soak for a little bit. How would you describe your journey on your faith so far? I mean, you go to Mount DeSales High School here in Macon, Roman Catholic high school. You're an Episcopalian, which we broke off from our mother church, 1500s, early 1500s.
Quite a while ago, yeah.
But our theology is really basically the same. It's that tweaking of it that sort of makes the difference between the two, even though we're very similar in the theology, but not in the hierarchy. But having said all that, how have you managed your faith journey?
Personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Well, I mean, I guess I started off, you know, I kind of started off as like a typical, you know, Christian kid. And
what does that mean? Like,
well, I mean, it's
hearing it but not thinking about it, or
yeah, I mean, just accepting everything. Really, you had no critical thought because you know you're just a kid. You don't really think about stuff. As I grew older, you know, like I started like discovering different things that I believed, and I'm similar to the way Christian believes. I'm an omnist, which is like a believer in all.
Christian
faiths.
was your parishioner. Your parishioner. Our parishioner who was on the show last time.
Yes.
So both of you go to the same high school.
Yes.
Okay, continue on. I just want to let everybody know who Christian was.
So I guess, I mean, I'm still primarily a Christian. Yeah, that's where I get most of my beliefs from. But I also incorporate a lot of different things from Buddhism, and I want to start looking into some of the practices of Islam because they are quite, I don't know, quite persistent with their faith. Rather, it's like they have a very good sense of dedication. And I want to start looking into that side of their faith because I think that's kind of important.
Yes. When you say, what did you mean by that? That Christians don't really...
Well, no, I mean, it's more like they have so many practices that they do, you know, throughout the day to remind themselves of their faith. And I think Christians don't really have a set rules on like the practices.
You know how many times we pray, you know?
Yeah.
I mean that is true. I would think that's more of a personal piety of individual Christians.
Well, it's more just like in the way because they're very, very pious. Most Muslims are with the way that they perform their, you know, practice.
Yeah. I mean, we have our own Christians, and I have saying nothing against Muslims or Buddhists. Christians, we do have practices if we would practice them.
Yeah, I know. I would like to look into that more as well. Like I don't believe I pray as often as I should, you know. But I do find prayer through meditation, which I do like to do quite a bit. I find a connection with God through that. So I'd say that's my main like the way I practice my faith.
Through prayer. And
Yeah, but I like meditation, like Buddhist meditation.
Yeah, I don't think Christians need to be afraid of any, speaking as a priest, any of the practices of meditation or a lot of people, ritual turns a lot of people off, but ritual is also part of body language and getting that into our bodies. When you worship, we should worship with all of our senses, not just words. We do a lot of words.
Yeah.
Anything else on your faith journey that's been important or that to you that has made a difference in your
well, I'd say definitely the Episcopal Church and just their sense of social justice has definitely impacted my views on a lot of different things. But I mean, as far as faith goes, I mean, not really. I mean, I guess that pretty much covers it, you know?
Okay. So you were talking about service and stuff, and that is, the Episcopal Church isn't so much about what we believe. I mean, we are Christ-centered, but it's more about what we do with that belief.
Yeah.
I mean, just sitting there, which is fine for worship and the experience of worship, but Jesus also calls us into action. You would agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
So how is that going to work into your sermon some way?
Service?
Service?
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
Again, I'm not trying to get you to give away your sermon.
Yeah, that should pop up in there somewhere. I'm going to try to work that in.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I've got some extra pieces of bread. We didn't quite make enough batter.
Yes.
That's my problem. But this can be used.
Okay.
We've got 4 nice, big, thick pieces of French toast in the skillet. And it is, you're cooking it until it browns. See that nice brown there? Oh yeah, that looks good. That one's getting low. That's good, but we don't want it to get any browner than that. And you see why the stale bread is a little bit better than fresh bread? It's because, let me get a spatula. The fresh bread falls apart a little more. So let me turn that over. Brown these. Maybe cut it, take that little piece of butter there, go ahead and throw it in. You've washed your hands, just grab it. Yeah.
Okay.
Grab it. Throw it in
Throw
there.
it in.
Yeah. Smells good?
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't take long to brown it. I've got this on medium heat on a gas burner. Do you enjoy cooking? Do you like to cook?
I usually don't cook. I haven't cooked very much. You know, I mean, I don't mind it now that we're doing it, but like I said, I just don't do it that often.
Okay.
And I would just say, like, it's not because I don't have time, it's just that I've never gotten around to, like, really doing anything.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
but do you think you might enjoy it later on?
Maybe. I mean, I hope so. I hope to, you know, I think I have to have a meal plan for, like, at least my first year in college, but maybe afterwards try to focus more on, like, learning how to cook more things so that I don't have to, you know, because, like, meal plans are pretty expensive. So.
Yeah. Well, it's also a time saver. I mean, when you don't have to worry about cooking your own meals. And most colleges offer a wide variety of food in the cafeteria and at the restaurants on campus. When I was in college, it was pretty much cafeteria style. You ate what you had, 5 servings of whatever and some fruit. But the colleges I visited have it's just amazing with the grills and the food that they offer. So I'm going to take this out and lay here. It's nice and done. This is still cooking. It was the first one we put in, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So, and I'm going to grab a plate. And we can let you, since you did this, I'm going to let you
So do you eat your
No.
French toast with no syrup?
No,
Or-
absolutely not.
Okay. All right. I was about
Maple
to say.
syrup,
Of course.
and it has to be warmed. So I'm
Yes.
going to warm it up.
Okay. I'm
Mmm.
not sure I can eat all this. To be
Maple
honest
syrup.
with you.
Well, what you don't eat, it won't go to waste.
Okay.
We have the cameraman, who Christian is the cameraman today. So I can't wait to see what you think. You get enough syrup on it?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
What do you think? What's the flavor? You like the flavor?
That's interesting. That is good. Yeah.
Okay. Do you taste the almond flavor a little bit?
Yeah.
From that.
It's really good, actually.
And again, all the alcohol has cooked off. Yeah, I will make that point clear. So.
Pretty crumbly though. You know, it's falling apart.
Yeah. Again, the bread. I probably should have left it out overnight,
Mm-hmm.
and so it would get even more stale,
Right.
and it would stay together more. Remember, the French is pain perdu, lost bread that they have. You're not going to be able to eat, but once you soak it and cook it, then it brings it back to let you eat it in a different way. And thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Christian, for being the man behind the camera. And we will see you next time with Cooking with Father Ben.
Bye-bye.
Bye.